Whoa! Is today what I think it is? Is it Monday? Is it Tuesday? Is it Thursday? No. Is it Friday? No, today is Wednesday. So you know what that means? It's time for art. So get your pencils, get a piece of paper, get some markers, and let's get ready for art today. Woo! Hello, my friends. It's so good to see you here today for Mr. B's art class today. I'm excited because we're going to do an art project using pencils, paper, and maybe even scissors and glue. So if you have scissors and glue, bring them along with you. If you don't, it's okay. You don't have to use it if you don't have it. But what we're going to do is we're going to be using our crayons and our pencils to make scribble lines, and then we're going to color to make a beautiful piece of artwork. Mr. B has a friend that's going to show us what to do. So go get your stuff as soon as possible, and we're going to begin in 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Oh, hi there. It's so good to see you. Mrs. Rock here. Today I am so excited. I was just getting my crayons all ready because I'm going to show you how to make a scribble drawing. We're going to use our imagination and some bright colors to make a beautiful work of art. Here are the materials you need. When I start my scribble drawing, I'm going to need my piece of paper and a marker. And you can use a Sharpie or a regular Crayola marker. Either one is fine. And I'm going to start off by making one long snaky line. And I'm just using my mindfulness to create a line that has some intersections, some curves, maybe some loops. I could even make some zigzags in there. And I want to just keep going until I've filled my whole page with interesting looking lines. Notice I stopped there. I need to make sure the end of my line touches another line. Same thing with this end here. I'm going to curve this line back around so that it touches that line there. So I'm creating these enclosed spaces. Now I want you to notice the difference between this drawing and something that looks like this. Let's see, what did I do differently here than here? Well, it looks like in this drawing, I made nice, neat spaces that I can end up coloring in. But this one's too messy. It would be nearly impossible to color in all these tiny spaces. It just looks like I didn't use enough mindfulness and craftsmanship to create this drawing. I think I'm going to go with this one instead. It looks a lot more neat and it's going to be a lot easier to color inside the lines. We're going to be using crayons today to color in our scribble drawing. So just choose any color you want and start in any space you like. And when I color, I go back and forth in the same direction and I do just little bits at a time, back and forth, back and forth. And notice my hand moves this way, back and forth from my wrist. I'm not just using my fingers and I'm not using my whole arm. I'm just using my wrist to go back and forth, back and forth. And I do just a little bit at a time. I don't want to get too overwhelmed with a big space and think that I have to get everything colored really quickly, because if I'm coloring nice and neat, it might take a little bit more time. That means I'm using good craftsmanship and I'm really thinking about what I'm doing. And there, I'm finished with that space and I don't have any peekaboo spots. Peekaboo spots are areas that are left white on your paper, but for this drawing, we're really trying to use good craftsmanship and cover the whole paper. Sometimes I'll see students color like this, in all different directions. Instead, tackle little parts at a time. So just slowly back and forth in the same direction, just a little bit at a time. And before you know it, you're covering the whole space that you need to color. And when I get to the edges, I go a little bit more slowly, back and forth in the same direction. So let's see, should I color like this? No, that doesn't make any sense. Instead, I'm going to color back and forth in the same direction. I might even get those little corners first because I know that they're the hardest. And I'm not putting a lot of pressure on my paper because if I press really, really hard, then it's going to make my hand get really tired. So I just want to be really relaxed and mindful while I'm coloring. And every now and then, oops, I might get outside of the lines, but guess what? That's okay because I'm just learning and I'm trying my best, and that's all you can do. So I'm going to keep going little by little, coloring in all of these spaces. And each space is going to get its own color. And I can repeat colors if I want, or I could stick with the same 3 colors over and over again, or 4 or 5 colors. But that's okay. I can do the whole rainbow too if I want. And I'm just going to have fun, and I'm going to keep coloring little by little. And if my hand gets really tired, I can put my crayon down, shake it out, pick up my crayon again, and keep going. Coloring inside my scribble drawing, I'm not going to worry about this space around it because I'm going to cut that part off using scissors. Remember, my thumb goes in the small hole and my other fingers go in the big hole, and my thumbs up, always stays on top. My cutting hand opens and closes while my other hand grips the paper and does all the driving. So notice the hand holding the paper is the one moving the paper around while I carefully cut on that outside line. Choose any color construction paper on which to mount your scribble drawing. So what I'm going to do is flip my scribble drawing over so I'm looking at the plain white side. And now I'm ready to add my glue. When I'm ready to start gluing, I need to open up my glue. Right now with my glue bottle, the top is touching this white part here. That means I know that I need to grab this cone part and turn it like this. And when I turn it, look what happens here. I end up with this space here. So now I know that my glue bottle is open. And if you give it a little squeeze, you can hear your glue bottle breathing. So sometimes I'll see students and they'll hold their glue bottle like this and they'll squeeze with both hands. Well, that's using too much energy. We really don't need to be that rough with our poor little glue bottle. Instead, we're going to let gravity do the work for us. So I'm going to touch my glue bottle to my paper about a finger width from the edge of my paper. If we're too close to the edge of our paper, the glue is going to ooze out, and that just makes a mess. So we want to make things nice and neat. So I'm going to touch my glue bottle to my paper and I'm going to draw with the glue. So I'm just going to gently squeeze gravity is doing most of the work for me. Gravity is the force that holds us to the earth. That's why when we jump up, we always come back down. So gravity is pulling the glue to the tip of the glue bottle. That way, I don't have to do much work. All I do is gently squeeze and drag it along the surface of the paper, and I end up with a nice, neat line of glue. And I need to always pull my glue bottle. If I push it, I won't get that nice, neat line. So if I push it like this, it just kind of smears. So I always want to make sure I'm a little bit away from the edge of my paper. I'm dragging my glue bottle, pulling it, and it ends up making a little trail of glue, kind of like a snail does when it's slowly moving across the sidewalk. So there is my nice line of glue. And then I've got all this center part. I can be a little bit more free with how I create those lines. And that's all the glue that I need. Now I'm going to carefully pick it up just by the edges. Before I put it down, I want to put my head kind of over my paper so I make sure it's centered in the middle of my paper. And right when I put it down, the glue hasn't really stuck to the paper yet. So I still have a little freedom to kind of move it around and wiggle it into the right place so that my drawing isn't hanging off the edge of my construction paper. And I think that that looks centered like that, so I'm going to go ahead and press that down. But I still see, oh, this is kind of flipping up here. So what I'm going to do is take this whole thing, turn it over, and give it a nice back massage. And sometimes when I'm doing this, a little bit of glue oozes out the side, but we'll just clean that up later. And that glue will dry clear anyway, so no big deal. All right, it looks like I'm finished with my artwork. So the final touch I need to do is take my Sharpie and I'm going to neatly write my name in the bottom right-hand corner. An artist usually signs their name, and you are an artist, so you're gonna do that too. And we're finished. I hope you had fun making this scribble drawing. Remember, yours might look a little different than mine. So remember, when you're creating, the possibilities are endless.
Hey, wasn't that project so much fun? My favorite part about that project is that you can keep doing it in different ways and add different colors. So you could use the warm colors, the cool colors, primary colors, secondary colors, all different types of colors. So if you want to, go ahead and try the project again using different colors or using different scribbles and enjoy yourself today. Thank you for joining me for Mr. B's art class, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.